here we have a triangle, okay, and this is not a right angle triangle. So always remember, when you have a right angle triangle, the best approach would be to directly use the Pythagoras theorem and the Cosine rules. Okay, when you don't have a right angle triangle, then what you need to do is you can use the sine rule and cosine rule to find any missing side or angle. Now for this triangle here, I'm going to label the three angles, okay, A, B and C. At the same time, I'm going to label the sides, okay, that are opposite each of these angles. Okay, so the angles are these, okay, A, B and C, and I'm going to label the side opposite angle A as small a, the side opposite angle B as small b, and the side opposite angle C as small c. Okay, now once you have this, alright, the sine rule is very straightforward. All you do is relate the angle with the side that is opposite it. Okay, so what you have is A over sine A equals to B over sine B, which is equals to C over sine C. Okay, you can also write this expression with the sine on top and the side below. That means the angle on top and the side below. So that will look like this, where you can write it as sine A over A equals to sine B over B, which is equals to sine C over C. Okay, so that is basically your sine rule. Okay, so it is a fairly easy rule to apply, and as you can see, you have three pairs over there. In order to use sine rule, you only need two pairs. Okay, you only need two pairs, and when you talk about two pairs, that means you're talking about either A and sine A and B and sine B, or A and sine A and sine C, or B and sine B and C and sine C. Okay, so it's either AB, AC or BC, okay, depending on what is available. So you have to remember that out of the two pairs, you have four parameters. The four parameters are the two sides, okay, two sides and two angles. Okay, and you need to choose the sides and angles such that 3 can be known and 1 can be unknown. Okay, so out of the 4 parameters that you have for any pair that you choose, you must make sure that 3 of them you know, then 1 of them, which is the unknown, you can find out. Okay, so that is how you apply the sine rule. Alright, and please look through the examples in my website, okay, to actually see how you apply it to actual numbers. Okay, right now I'm going to go over to the cosine rule. Okay, so the cosine rule, how is it used? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to label the sides first, A, B and C. Okay, and you have three angles, A, B and C over here, and I'm going to label the sides opposite the angle. So opposite angle A is side A, opposite angle B is side B, and opposite angle C is side C. Okay, so for this cosine rule, okay, what you have is the first there are two variations to the rule. Okay, one is you want to find the side, the other is you want to find the angle. Okay, so now let's look at finding the side. Okay, so if I want to find a side, okay, what I need to know is I need to know the angle opposite that side and the two lines that make up that angle. Okay, so take for example, I want to find A, side A. If I want to find side A, then what I must know? I must know B, C and angle A. Okay, if I want to find side B, what I need to know is I need to know A, C and angle B. And if I want to find C, what I need to know is A, B and angle C. Alright, so let's see how you can apply the rule. So for the side, to calculate the side, you can say A square, okay, equals to B square plus C square minus 2BC cosine A. Alright, so as you can see, to find A, the side A, I must know B and C, and I must know the angle A. Okay, so similarly, if I want to find B, so B square equals to A square plus C square minus 2AC cosine B. And finally, C square is equals to A square plus B square minus 2AB cosine C. Okay, now as you can see, it is actually the same formula. Is just you need to know which side to use and which angle to use. Alright, as long as you get that pattern, you would be able to use this rule correctly every time. Okay, so this is to find the side. Okay, the next thing is to find an angle. Okay, to find an angle, you need to know all three sides. Okay, to find an angle, you need to know all three sides. That means if I want to find angle A, okay, I need to know A, B and C. Same thing. Okay, if I want to find angle B, I also need to know A, B and C. If I want to find angle C, I also need to know A, B and C. Okay, I need to know all three sides if I need to find any of the angles using cosine rule. Okay, but I need to make sure I use it in the correct order. Now let's see how we can apply the cosine rule to find the angle. Okay, so in this case, if I want to find for cosine A, okay, so cosine A will be written as, so basically what we're doing is we're just rewriting this equation. So as you can see, if I want to rewrite this equation, I will get B square plus C square minus A square divided by 2BC. Okay, so just rewriting this equation, okay, using algebraic rules, you can actually get this. So you can see that to find A, okay, I need to know all three sides. Okay, and then of course after I find cos A, I do the inverse cosine to find the actual angle A. The same thing can now be extended to cosine B. Okay, so for cosine B, what you will have is A square plus C square minus B square divided by 2AC. Okay, and finally for cosine C, what you have is A square plus B square minus C square divided by 2AB. Okay, so if you observe the pattern, you can see that the angle that we are doing the cosine for, okay, the side is what we subtract here. So for cos A, we subtract A square. For cos B, we subtract B square. And for cos C, we subtract C square over here. Okay, so you can observe some pattern, okay, with how we apply the cosine rule. And once you understand the pattern, you can see that it's actually quite easy to apply it and get your answers. Okay, so I hope that this has given you a good idea on the sine and cosine rule. Of course, you definitely need a lot of practice with questions that deal with real sides and angles. Okay, please look out for those videos on my website. docr.sg, docr.sg, and try out those questions. Okay, the more you practice, the better you'll become. Okay, so please check out those questions and videos, and look forward to sharing more of my maths knowledge with all of you. Thank you. Bye.